So it's come to this. Canada, or our prime minister, nobody ever voted for, asked for, or even cares about, is wanting to recognize Palestine. And I said previously, like, this is a dangerous president that's going to be set, right? Where you think that overall that you're not going to see blowback from this, but all it takes is just another Islamic republic to like desire freedom, as they call it, or just bullshit, you know, because it isn't going to end. But all right, let me make good on my thing because I only touched on it, right? So this guy, oh yeah, shout outs to again to shit, more critical, more. I was about to say more critical, more Pegasus. Damn it. Why am I? What is wrong with me? No, it's like this caught me off guard, like completely off guard. I was just like cussing. I was just like, holy shit! I didn't vote for this guy. I went out and I voted conservative or progressive conservative, as it's called in Canada, which is basically our equivalent to Republican. But yeah, we lost, elbows up, like in ways more than one. And as pissed off as I'm gonna get, and I'm like, my heart goes out to all the actual Israelis. Like, I say like a couple bad things about the Jews here and there, right? And what I mean by this is like, it's not necessarily like I'm hypercritical of them or whatever. It's just that I know the ultimate cowardice of humanity, right? So, people my age, slightly older, slightly younger, they're gonna duck this war, whatever, and have somebody else fight it for them. And now they've lost their only country that they've ever had, because it's naive to think that you're gonna have the state of Palestine with all those countless citizens, children, adults, women, like all indoctrinated, pure hatred, pure mental derangement, like inbreeding, like ugh, homosexuality that they don't even want to address. But it's like, oh, you're an outsider. You don't know our ways. And when I say homosexuality, I do mean homosexuality. Like, these guys are taking little boys and dressing them as girls. And like, yeah, it's funny to me because it's like, yeah, why the fuck are they like that? But like, at the same time, it's a harsh reality that we have to live through, because even though it's funny to me, or maybe some other deranged individuals, it inevitably has real life consequences, in the sense that you're dealing with a child, someone's child. So whether or not you adhere to that kind of systematic beliefs or whatnot, like, it still goes without saying that yeah, these people, and I gave it some thought, right, about what this is really all about. And I think, like, when we're talking about terrorism and the expansion of Islam, we are talking about the religion. We are talking about a corporation. So a corporation owns banks, governments, or has sway or influence. Well, they own the government. What am I saying? They own the government. If you want a citizenship in Maldives, right, you got to convert to Islam. So it is basically a corporation of homosexuality that pushes women's values into, like, nothingness. Like, I've seen some of these pictures of, like, young women, like extremely young children women. In fact, I can't call them women. They're just children being impregnated. And now part of me wants to think that these are, and I hope they are, AI like images and stuff, but this is the reality of accepting people who should not be accepted, never be accepted. Okay? Because if we were just going off of what the other Arab nations, uh, their judgment and their reservations of the Palestinians, why not? Why not listen to them? Why not listen to Egypt, to Syria, to Lebanon, whoever, right? Who knows about these people? Because they don't want to take them in, and rightfully so. They are psychotic. Now, recognizing the state of Palestine is just opening Pandora's box, because Carney is a weak man. His son is not his son. It's just a weird trans issue with this guy. And like he came out of nowhere. And I'm not trying to make his business my business, but at the same time, he just like threw our entire country into turmoil. Okay? Now, obviously he's taking money under the table from these Arab Spring states. Nobody elected this guy. He's a, hardcore banker, whatever the hell he is, financial, whatever, financier. And this is the price that we pay for liberalism, for, turning the other cheek. And as angry as I am, and trust me, I have my, rages and frustrations. I don't necessarily like, actually I do. I think Israel has more than enough right to exist. And now that is basically under perpetual threat. Now, let's be realistic. You were never going to get rid of those millions and millions of people who settled in the land of Palestinian settlements or whatever. You're never going to get rid of them because of the aforementioned R-type reproductive strategy. Right? These people don't care about their kids. They'll use their kids as human shields, as bombs, as whatever, right? And then when you turn the camera towards them, only then suddenly they magically learn, empathy, caring for their kids, like in front of a camera. But outside of that, yeah, right, dude. And it's weird because you know for a fact that they're going to do more things to Israel now that they feel emboldened. And they're not going to claim responsibility, and they're going to do this Cold War bullshit that they've been doing the entire time since Israel's inception. So, from that, the unfortunate reality is, like, I went to school, right? Majority Russians, majority Jewish people, okay? When it was a Jewish holiday, it was basically no school, right? We had, like, 2 black kids at the end of the semester, so Daffy and Greg. Oh, that's Sanju, but he's also half brown, so whatever, right? Half Packy. And that was that was our like population of the class. Like we just had no other ethnicities. Like we had a couple Asians. I think we had one Persian guy. Yeah, it was just a very much mono-ethnic, school. So fast forward, and then I went to high school, and it's the same. Like, even though they weren't the majority in Vaughan Secondary, the high school that I ended up going to, the first high school I went to, Westmount, yes, they very much were a majority. Like, again, like if it was a Jewish holiday, it's basically no school. That's how many Jewish people there were in that school. Now, I bring this up because I've had a lot of bad interactions. A lot of good, but a lot of bad interactions with these so-called Jewish people, right? And what I've noticed is that the Jewish people who have like a real problem, specifically with me or just like people in general, have nothing to do with Israel. Like they're not Israeli. Maybe they've been there, but like they don't necessarily have family members from there. They're just like Jewish, Majority of the people who gave me problems and shit. The Israelis, not all of them, but like most of them were actually really nice to me. I don't know why, they just seem like they're not Jewish, if that makes sense. I don't know, like, because like, every single time I also associate Jewism with like stuff, it's like, the stereotypical, being cheap, being this, being that, blah, 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 right? And even though not every single person fit that bill, like a lot of them did. Like they lived up to that stereotype to the nth degree. Like and like the whole, devious nature of them. Like they're pretty perverted, some of them. All right, but like let's put those. We were all kids at that time. Nobody's perfect. Let's put all that judgment aside. I bring this up because they're more than happy to let other people die for their cause. Okay, and yes, I am bullying them. Yes, I am, trying to incite them. Because if they are going to sit on their fucking asses, I'm talking about people, 1985, 1980, 1990, the years you were born, and then like subtly down like the fucking, whatever trail and shit, right? So us 30, 40-year-olds plus, right? Like, but I'm not Israeli. You feel me? I can't go on a plane. I can't get on a plane. I can't go to Israel. I don't have a citizenship. I don't speak the language. I don't understand the language. I can't read it. You know, like it's just too foreign for me. But you guys got to go there and you guys got to fight for your country perpetually. Like this is one of those things where you've enjoyed everybody's labor. We were all taxed. We didn't know this. American citizens. Like, okay, Leonardo Joni, this YouTube uh, person I'm subscribed to, you know, she's a very outspoken person. She has a lot of bad things to say about Hindus. You know, I think she's half right, but like, you know, maybe she takes it too far. But like, again, like, it's refreshing to hear an outside differing opinion, and whether I like agree with her, disagree with her or not, like, you know, her opinion is very much valid. She was the one who pointed it out that every single state in America, every single one, when you pay your taxes, a percentage of everybody's taxes, every single state in America, Hawaii, New York, every single one is paying to Israel. The nukes, the high tech weapons, the Iron Dome. That's where the money's coming from. Okay? I don't know so much about Canada, but I'm pretty sure, like, you know, you threw a couple shekels their way. So, I'm telling you guys, Jews, get out there, don't ask Israelis to fight your war. Do not ask children to fight your war. Do not expect women are fighting your war, dude. Like, I gotta point this out to you. Women in the IDF are fighting your war. I was on Instagram and I saw this one hot girl, and yo, she's flying an F-35. But like it's a new fighter jet, and it can, like, it's a kind of a VTOL, meaning vertical takeoff and landing. How do I feel about it as a fighter plane? Well, against people who don't have any air superiority fighters, yes, it's a good jet, right? And it's, the fact that you don't need a gigantic runway to take off or an aircraft carrier is a big plus. With that being said, right? A lot of money is being thrown at Israel, and it's not enough. Those children, well, okay, again, I'm 40 years old, right? So if I misspeak and I call someone who's a man, a kid, you know, apologies, right? Like I just, you know, it's a habit I gotta, like, lose. You know, I gotta stop being like fucking like my head up my ass and shit. Like I am old. I am the one who's old now. They call me Unk for whatever the hell. Okay, but more to the point, right? Uh, they're gonna go back to Israel. They literally have to go back to Israel. And I am appealing specifically to the people who were I went to high school with, like the peers, everybody. If you don't go back to Israel and fight, and Palestine becomes a state, do you know that, like, every single terrorist attack you're responsible for? You're responsible for it. You and the rest of the lavishly living Jewish people who've lived off, you know, the North American, European, Australian, whatever, first world dime, right? The first world nations, and everybody, including the Muslims, getting taxed to finance your country, the defense of that country, and all those Israelis dying. I saw this one article, right? It's an unfortunate reality of war, and this guy, you know, committed suicide. It's like, shit, man. Is it really that bad? And then I thought about it for a while. Like, can you imagine a war, like, almost what is it, a year plus, 2 years plus? I don't know. Fuck, man, it's so long. Fuck, I hate my life. My stupid ass prime minister doing this shit. How do I fucking feel about this? I feel like such a goddamn, like, I can't live here. You understand? I cannot live in Canada. I cannot stay in Canada. Because not only is it, like, not a safe place, it's not a smart place. Like, now I understand why Americans clown us all the time. why we are the butt of so many jokes, why Mudahar is getting dragged, and every single other Canadian that sticks his head out of the water gets fucking like pulled out, like reeled out like a fish. It's because of the worthless nature of all of our politics, liberal policies. Hey, we don't have guns, we don't have crime. Yeah, not anymore. And like the stupidity of being like too comfortable with your own, for lack of a better term, inadequacies, right? Like you're just like, oh, I don't need a gun, and even though that makes me defenseless, I'm still a better person than you. Fucking hell. Oh, dude. Like, I say this because, like, there's so many times, Jewish people want to fuck with me. Like, the ones that, like, want to start shit with me, whatever, right? So many fucking times. These fucking losers want to start shit with me. So many times that they felt comfortable ganging up. Because it's like, you know what I mean, right? It's all Jewish school. They can just call their friends. They're Jewish friends. And so many times, right? That they had their way, they got what they wanted, and now their bitch ass can't fucking fight for their country, and they lost it. So let's go over the countries that got fucked over and lost. UK, France, Canada, and now Israel, and I don't know if Russia's gonna fall, right? But dude, a million Indian skilled workers, skilled. I like that word. I like the word skilled. 1 million too, eh? It's like 1 million, like 1 million reasons that you're delusional. Skilled workers, yeah, sure. Like I'm not saying like the whole nation of India is a write-off, but dude, this is what happens when world leaders make decisions for people that just are the opposite of them. Like Mark, I'm gonna have a kid, and he's gonna be a man. End the story. Like as flamboyant as I am, like if you don't see the parallels between Andrew Tate and this whole trans movement, then you failed as a father. Right? Like Andrew Tate is softballing the idea of like pride in homosexuality. And he does this through the subtlety of like having, an entourage of men, wearing, his shirt unbuttoned and wearing, very visible and very homosexual like fashion items. And of course, right, nobody wants to call him on it because he's like, oh, he's Islamic, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. And again, this is what I meant by the terroristic military expansion of Islam being basically a corporation to push homosexuality and dismerit you know women in general, just like make their lives meaningless through just covering them up, taking away their rights, taking away their autonomy on their bodies, right? Now, what do I mean by lost? Well, it doesn't matter whether you vote or not. It doesn't matter whether you want to sign up for the military or the police force or any. You're not making a difference in these countries. That's what I mean by lost. That is what I mean. And the reality of recognizing the state of Palestine is just a symptom of the disease, right? The same way that you increase the taxes, the same way that you have COVID, but the people making the vaccines have been pardoned. Gee, I wonder why they had to be pardoned, right? It's also like remember all those commercials in America, like these weird ass, I have two moms and I'm a woman in the military, but I can make a difference. The most emasculating ever commercial I've ever seen, and it's out of the U.S. military. And I'm not trying to say, okay, Canada's that much better, dude. Our prime minister is about to recognize Palestine as a state. Like when you think about why America is slapping all these tariffs on Canada, it's because Carney's a dumbass. I know I was supposed to talk about all these other topics and shit. It's just fuck, man. Like I'll make another video maybe. Just I had to vent about this because, you know, and I'm serious. The Jews, all the ones, North America, Europe, South Africa, wherever the hell you are, Australia, get the fuck over to Israel and fight for your country, unless you're a coward.